This month's Chelsea Chamber Business Spotlight shines on Chelsea Family Pharmacy. Servicing our community for over 12 years at 600 Walnut Street, Joe, Wendy, and the team offer fast, friendly service and are now helping Medicare patients with coverage support. Plus, all Vera Bradley products are 60% off, perfect for a gift or even a treat. Stop by or call 918-789-2241 to experience care you can count on. Chelsea Family Pharmacy, where community and care come together. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to Center Stage Community Podcast, where we give the community the center stage. I'm your host, Justin McCall, with my sadly last time co-host, Kimber Horton.
He's not going to let me have the microphone anymore. No. I'm just kidding. I'm surprised he didn't throw something at me. Kimber Horton here. I am very excited to be on this episode today, but it is very, very bittersweet for us to share with you that it will be my final episode. It has been the biggest honor and privilege to be on this platform with my friend. And as you all know, I am in a very busy season of life. We have our 3 little boys. We have the twins. They do not go to daycare. I run a very, I'd like to say, successful growing business, self-employed with my babies at my feet. My family is so very important to me. And, I've got to prioritize, and I serve our community on our school board. I serve my my company on different committees and just do lots of things with our agents. And anyways, I'm just spread a little thin. So it was a very bittersweet decision to have to give this up. However, I will be just a huge advocate for this from here on out forever. Because I'm just such a believer in what this stands for and what we're accomplishing here and the lives that we're touching and the stories that are getting shared. So that's a little unusual to our typical start.
Yeah.
But there was a lot to unload here today.
Yeah, I'll start off with a little bit of a low, but we do have some good news coming up in just a second.
Yes.
I will not be hosting it by myself, so you can take a huge sigh of relief.
You're welcome, guys. We got you. No, I'm just kidding.
I will not be doing it by myself, so just rest assured of that. But I will say, Kimber, from the time that I mentioned, we met at the restaurant, to the time I mentioned what the vision was, what I wanted to do, you jumped on board. You were like, yes, this is absolutely, Chelsea needs this, and I'm all into it. And it would not be where it is today had you not come on board and helped. So from the bottom of my heart and the community's heart, thank you for your time.
Thank you for even asking me to be a part of this. The vision was all yours, that you created and that you had and that God laid on your heart. And I was so honored to be asked to get to be behind this microphone and just feed what you were trying to create. So, and I'll continue to do so from afar in different shapes.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. And I know that you'll be behind it all the way. So
100%.
But so moving on, need to remind everybody that Center Stage Community Podcast is brought to you by InsureBoss. InsureBoss, we have 2 locations. One in Chelsea by the name of Route 66 Insurance, right next door to the most busiest place in all of Chelsea, the post office, and right behind Harbor Coffee in Ulagal by the name of Truckline Insurance Agency. You can come by, you can talk to any of our agents, any of our customer service representatives. There are a total of 5 of us that work for the office, and we are happy to assist you in any way that we possibly can. You can call us at 918-789-3848. Again, that's 918-789-3848. Visit us online at insureboss.com. That's INSURE, B as in boy, OSS.com. And remember that InsureBoss is insurance you need for the coverage that you expect. It's also brought to you by...
Just because I'm not going to be on this podcast doesn't mean that I'm not here. I'm not leaving this community. I am fully fledged here. Kimber Horton, Solid Rock Realtors, your favorite local trusted realtor, your trusted real estate advisor. You can always find me at 918-760-5203, kimber.solidrockrealtors.com for current listings in our community, even if they're not mine. Real estate advice. I'm going to a listing appointment tomorrow to help a family prepare to list their home. They're moving out of state, just going to advise and counsel. So don't forget that Kimber Horton, Solid Rock Realtors, just because I'm not here on the podcast doesn't mean I'm not here in your community every single day serving you still for any of your real estate needs. Even if you just have a question and I have nothing to gain from it, please do not hesitate one moment to call. And again, that's 918-760-5203.
Oh, yeah, definitely give her a call. She will go to the end of the earth and back to try to help you, answer your questions, find out the answer to your questions, and service you the best that she can, and get you taken care of.
Yes.
I know that. She's helping my mom sell her property, so
yes,
she's good at what she does, and she cares about people. So make sure you look her up, give her a call. She'll be happy to help you.
Yes.
So, have you ever had a client wonder, like, why in the world do you need that information as a real estate agent? Like,
yes.
So we've been running into that a lot here lately on the insurance side of things. I'll tell you.
People get funny about their information. Rightly so. The world's crazy.
They do. And they don't quite understand why do you need that information? And I hear this a lot. I've never had to do that before. Mm-hmm. We live in an ever-changing world. And right now in insurance, things are a little bit crazy. But we're getting questions from insurance companies like, we needed to see a copy of the registration on that particular vehicle. And customers are like, well, why in the world would you need a registration of the vehicle? And there's two reasons why. Number one, they want to verify that you have an insurable interest in that vehicle, that you actually do own it. And number two, that there's no other registered owners on that particular vehicle, because if there is, legally they need to make sure that they are insuring that person as well. That way, if that vehicle gets into a loss, an attorney gets involved, it doesn't sue that other person, and they have no coverage.
Interesting.
Yes. And so another thing to remember, too, is that insurance companies are held accountable through audits. And if they give any discounts, if they apply any kind of coverage, they have to have documentation proving that they're doing the right thing. And so registration on something like that proves that information.
Well, and it's funny, the same kind of process happens in real estate. You know, that's part of what that title process is. You're going through the abstracting and different things. You're making sure there's no outlying owners or skeletons back there, that you do actually have the right to sell that property. A lot of similar things, but they just present themselves so differently. So, yeah, you know, it just goes back to the professionals in their field need information in order to help you. Like if you go to the doctor and you're not honest with what's going on, but you're looking for a cure, you're probably not going to get exactly what you need, right? But the more upfront you are, the more honest you are, the more helpful you are with forthcoming in your information, the better the professionals can serve you, right?
Yep, exactly. Honesty equals peace of mind.
So much so.
Yep.
That is so true. That's a good tip today.
Good tip today.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Let's go ahead and move on to our guest. So I'm excited because the guest that I'm about to introduce is actually coming on board as the co-host going forward on all of our future shows. So this is going to be an opportunity for you to get to know her, to hear her story, hear how she got to Chelsea, why she's in Chelsea, and what she loves about Chelsea, and get to know her a little bit so that you'll be acquainted with her as we proceed with these different episodes. So, you ready?
I want to just share, too, that ironically enough, her and I have backgrounds that are freakishly similar.
So weird.
And I did not have the chance to know this beautiful person prior to the podcast bringing us together. But as I learned about her backstory, where she comes from, it's going to be kind of wild. I'm so excited to just share this. And I'm just very excited to pass the baton onto this person and for you all to get to know her and love her the way that you have welcomed me and loved me. So.
Yep.
Without further ado,
we'd like to introduce you to Cynthia Sanders Mascherini.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hey, Cynthia.
This is a big day, and so I'm so excited for this for you. Immediately when we met, I felt like there was just a great energy, and I just feel like we're just going to have to dive into this because I'm just going to keep revealing just different pieces. But Cynthia, tell us a little bit about you and your family first. Let's just lead off with you, who you are, your family, and we'll go from there.
Well, I am a wife and mother. I have 6 beautiful children, ranging from the ages of 23 all the way down to 5.
Oh, girl.
So, yes. We currently have one son that's in the Navy. He is stationed in Virginia.
Okay.
And our oldest daughter is here in Chelsea, and the rest of them are living with us.
Yeah.
So,
man, you're spread out in those seasons.
Yeah, we are. We are.
I don't know what's more wild, having lots of kids in one little season or spread out. I mean, you've gone through all kinds of things, I'm sure.
It's never a dull moment, for sure. Never a dull moment. So, my husband, Shane, and I, we are kids pastors here in Chelsea at Chelsea Assembly of God. And I am also a worship leader there. And we serve in many capacities there at the church, and are glad and very blessed to be a part of the community in that capacity. And I'm in banking right now, and Shane is currently wrapping up to be a secondary education teacher, hoping to get a job here in Chelsea.
Very exciting.
Awesome.
I know the people to talk to. I'm just saying.
Hey,
I know
you
the
know
people
a few
to
people.
talk to.
Yeah, it's good.
We're looking for good ones all the time. People that care, people that show up in a bigger way than just coming to work. So, and obviously that's exactly who you guys are, which is amazing. So you are not born and raised here in Chelsea. Tell us where you're from.
I am actually from the Bay Area in California. I grew up in Santa Clara, and then we later relocated to a smaller mountain community up in the Central Valley, Shaver Lake, California, and then later to follow as I grew up and became an adult, decided to come out here. So
I want to interject there, because this is where it's pretty wild.
Yeah.
We are both California implants. We have both been here for a long time. Cynthia came here in 2013.
Yeah.
I came here in 2007. And we are both from, when people think of California, you all think of LA. And you think of the rat race down there. And that is not where either one of us are from. When she says the Central Valley, I'm from the San Joaquin Valley, the Central Valley, they all kind of run together there. Yes. And that is a farming community. And the mountains are beautiful there. When she says Shaver Lake, it's absolutely stunning there. Yeah. It is no part of LA and what the world thinks when you think of so many things. So I
wouldn't necessarily say that I was thinking that, but possibly I may have.
And
may have. Okay.
No. So funny thing is when my son was going to school, when we came back to Oklahoma, he's like, man, Mom, they keep calling me a city boy here, and they keep saying city boy. He said, Mom, we don't even have stoplight in our town where we're from.
Exactly, right?
So there are small communities in California too.
People don't realize that.
Yeah.
Where I lived before I moved here, at the foot of the Sierras, that town population is like 2,100.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same size as Chelsea. And so people you forget, you don't realize out there that there are those small communities. Yes. And somehow, we gravitate here. Mm-hmm. And we talked about a little bit before this show kicked off, that all three of us were not born and raised in Chelsea. This community called us. God put it on our hearts to come here. Yeah. We are all three very driven in our faith and believers in being led here. And I want to ask you this: were you big in your faith and church and stuff at home in California? I shouldn't say at home, because this is home now. That was something for me that I've just grown into here. We were not a church going family. We went to team penning practice on Wednesday nights, the way people go religiously to church here. That's what we did. We worked at that. But
so for me, I didn't grow up really in a church going family. I was raised holiday Catholic, I guess. Sure. And we would go to Mass on Christmas and Easter. So that was really what I grew up around. And it wasn't until I was on my own as an adult and really where the Lord kind of chased me down. So
do you feel like that gets fed here differently?
It does. I think so.
Why? Why is that? I'm a believer in that statement too.
I think it's exactly what we talk about on this podcast. It's the community. It's the community and the faith of these small towns. I mean, I know that they're big towns here as well, but even when you go to those bigger towns, people are, kind. Mm-hmm. You don't lose that kindness. So I think that they call it the Bible Belt for a reason,
right? And I used to laugh at that.
But
oh my gosh,
I mean,
it is just amazing though how your faith. I think there's a if you choose to hear it, there's a quietness that happens here in our slice of heaven.
Yes.
That where you can grow your faith, and you can be honest about it, and you can talk about it, and you can find others that it's okay. I don't know why it didn't feel that way to me out there as a kid, but here it's just amazing how our community feeds that.
It might have just been not growing up with it. I don't know. I have no idea, but I did not feel the same. I mean, I've grown so much in my faith here.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And you're big in your church, and that's just what about when you guys came here, did you immediately find your church home that you're at now?
Not immediately. We were actively looking. My husband and I, at the time, we were pretty involved in our church back home as well. A cowboy ministry there. Nice. And I did worship, and he did sound stuff there, and we just did different things over there. And so we knew we wanted to find a church home, and so we went to a few, and but I have to say that the Duns, man, they just exude love. They really do. And they just showed us so much love when we first even came here.
I have just heard that so many times about them.
They just truly are. It's just amazing. And they 100%, they care about the community and care about the people here. And I can't say that the churches in town don't. I mean, there is a church, they say a church on every corner, but there's no shortage of people that really truly care here, and people that just believe in the Lord and want to serve.
So tell us a little bit about how you got to Chelsea. Like, what's
what made you take that
there?
leap of faith? Yeah.
So really, it wasn't even a thing in my mind. Oklahoma was never on my mind, and my husband and I got married, and my sister-in-law and I were really good friends. The kids, we spent every waking moment, I feel like, any spare time we could together, and she had lived here previously and was planning the move, and we'd known she was planning the move. And my husband, he when he was younger, he made some mistakes, and really sometimes small towns aren't the most forgiving, and he struggled to I'll find a decent job and all of those things out there. And when my sister was moving, we were packing with her, and she's like, man, I just really wish you guys would think about coming. She joked about it before, and all honesty, I was like, yeah. And she's like, no, really, like, there is opportunity out there. You guys really could do well, I promise. And it's, it's not as expensive out there. And she just, I laugh and I tell her she made it sound like the land of Oz. Like, it was the greatest thing on earth. And I tell you, when she was packing one day, I, for some reason, just got it in my heart, you're going to go. And this was 2 weeks before she was going to leave. And I went home, and my husband and I were sitting in the living room, and I was like, what if we just did it?
Yeah.
What if we just did it?
What if?
And he's like, all right.
I love that.
And that was it. And we split a U-Haul.
Nice.
And we fought over how much space each of us were going to get. And we shoved as much as we could in there, and we came out here, and we didn't even have a house or anything. No plan. And
that was a leap of faith, girl.
Faith for real. And I tell you that it was the best decision I've ever made coming out here. And people in this town welcomed us with open arms.
Isn't that beautiful?
So mind-blowing to me, coming from, even though we lived in a small town, people still aren't that friendly. People just aren't. I don't know what it is. It's just, but it really was just, everybody just embraced us as people from, foreigners.
That's my father-in-law calls me a foreigner to this day. I went from, like, when I came here, my dad was here, and I came here to help my dad after we had gone through some hard times back in California and lost my sister and some hard things. And so my dad had came out here to be with friends, and I just remember feeling the same things. I hear your words and they just hit me right in my soul because I just ran into the same thing. People were so welcoming. They were so friendly. And I thought I really was meant to be here always.
It's healing.
It's
too.
so good.
It is.
And then I remember going, you go from knowing every back road and every corner and all, everything.
Yeah.
And then I knew how to get from our house to Walmart and Claremore and back. And then I did figure out Boot Barn when Boot Barn was there in Tulsa. That was the only place I knew to in Tulsa. But that's so powerful because communities don't always have that.
No,
That open arm offering for us foreigners.
Yeah.
Let's say that F word. Us foreigners. So when you came, tell us, did you guys get situated with your jobs?
We did. So
Run us through your story.
Well, I mean, it was a little bit of a bumpy road,
Yeah.
but all in all, it was not anything compared to what we were dealing with back in California. I was at the time pregnant when we moved here, which was wild in itself. I ended up taking a job up at a place in Tulsa, driving every day, and then it was a little bit
We're all
rough.
like, oh gosh.
Yeah, I know. No, to me, it wasn't that bad because I
Right.
was used to a commute. When I had to work in California, I always had a commute, so it didn't bother me. But when I was pregnant, it was rough. And so my husband ended up getting a job here in town at what we called Jiffy Mart back then. We got a place. He started working there. I ended up getting a job later on here in town at the Bank of Commerce, and we just settled in the community, and it really it opened a lot of doors for us to just meet more people too, what we were doing. And he was always a friendly face over there at Jiffy Mart. So it
was there a defining moment when you were like, this is home. This feels like home.
So funny thing, I didn't put this in what I shared to you guys, but I'm going to go ahead and share it. So we had, been here for, a couple years now. And I mean, it did still feel like home, but there was just this one night, it was Christmas Eve, and we had to go to do something. And we were driving to go to Jiffy Mart to put gas in the car, and we get pulled over. And I'm like,
yeah, here we go again.
It's freezing. Oh my goodness. And we've got babies in the back, and I'm like, great. And it just happened. It was one of the police officers pulled us over. He's like, hey man, I was looking for you. You weren't at work today. I wanted to give you your Christmas card from us.
Oh my gosh.
And I thought, wow, what a difference. And so they get to talking, and we get done, and we're heading home, and my husband had tears in his eyes because he said, when I was younger, I wasn't getting pulled over for things like that.
That makes me
And
want to
he
cry.
said,
That's awesome.
he said, wow, has it come just full circle, and God is so good, and look at us where we're at now. And I'm like, for sure. It really, that was just kind of, I think, like a turning point for him. And seeing that, like, people really did love him and cared about him here. And so that was our defining moment. We laughed about it. We still joke about it. Me and the kids and my sister-in-law, we just joke about that one time. Remember?
Wow.
So,
there's something to be said for coming to a new area. And, I was 21 when I moved here, and around age 18, 19, I was a mess. And, I really grew up after we lost my sister when I was 19.
Yeah.
And it just got me back on the right path. And so there is something beautiful when you get to come to a community and you get to start over and you get to create who you are.
exactly.
And in that moment, he knew that he had
Your
done
true
it.
character at that time. I mean, we
Yeah.
changed so much growing up and learning and definitely. So I think that they got to see us for who we were, where people before saw us for who we
Used to be.
used to be. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So big.
Yeah.
Now, share about Mark.
Well, I can say that we got here 2013 in November of 2016. Mark fell ill. We were in and out of the hospital for several months, and where he battled meningitis. He had pneumonia, several other things also with those complications, and we that started in November, and about December, it was, I want to say it was right before Christmas, they released him. He was so excited because he was like, I have to be home with the kids for Christmas. He is a big Christmas guy, and man, does Oklahoma celebrate Christmas too, because they love their Lord and Savior, and man, they do not skimp on Christmas around here. So I got to get home to the boys for Christmas, and so he got released, and I remember it's Christmas Eve, and we're doing all the traditional stuff that I'm cramming it in. My mother-in-law's cramming it in with us, and bless her, this whole time she spent every single day in that hospital. When he was there, she didn't leave unless he was leaving. So we were up there, we got home, spent Christmas and Christmas Eve. He watched the kids on the porch, playing with their new toys and everything, and I think about 4:00 in the morning, something around there, he woke us up. He couldn't breathe, and so back to the hospital we went, and he didn't end up coming home with us. So we spent another Mark went on to be with the Lord on February 1st, 2017. So it was a long battle. Then he fought really hard, but all of that to say that I know where he went, and he's not experiencing any of that anymore. So we are grateful. But my boys and I, we lost an awesome person, and I know, I'm sorry. They said tell your story, and I'm like, well, ready to cry.
Well, and here, she's fine. I'm not fine.
I'm pulling it. I'm holding it.
I just think it's great that he was able to live a beautiful life here and not be haunted.
Exactly.
And not be haunted, because he would have been sick no matter where he was, but he got to live his years right here.
And I tell you that hospital, it was like a revolving door. The the people coming in and out, and just the prayers from the community. And I talk about when people ask you kind of what's Chelsea to you, and it is home, and it is community. And I fell in love with Chelsea over the years, but when I lost my husband, there was just this, they take care of their own. And there was nothing that we could have needed or wanted for. I remember getting home from hospital one night, and our heater wasn't working, and so my boys and I had to sleep in the bed just wrapped with blankets piled up. And I called, and I had that night left a message for Kelton Heating and Air, and George was there in the morning, and he took care of us. He took care of us, and he told me, you don't worry about a thing. And just those little things. I didn't worry about food. People were dropping off. Man.
So much food.
Man. I have never seen so much food in my life. Is there any way you can eat chicken?
I'm telling you. And church will come together. Your community will come together. Your colleagues will come together.
People I didn't even know. People I didn't even know were coming to me, but they knew him. That was the other thing, is they knew him, his face at Jiffy Mart, and just you open the door and he's there, and you can hear him laughing and joking with people, and man, but people just rallied around us, supported us, and held us through all of it, and the prayers, and I mean, they've held a benefit on our behalf, and I was able to breathe easy while I was going back and forth to the hospital. We weren't working. I mean, even my job was super supportive.
You couldn't work.
Oh yeah. It was a very trying time. And in those moments, I never thought that he wasn't coming home with us either. I stood firm on my faith that he was going to be healed and come home to me and the boys. And that just did not happen.
Well, I just think that that's such an attestation to that you guys were meant to be here. You were just meant to be here in those hard times, and you were meant to be lifted up, and you were meant to be supported.
Yeah.
And
I don't know that I you know what, that wouldn't have happened where I was at.
Right.
It wouldn't have happened in the abundance that it happened here. Mm-hmm. It would not. And I mean, even my family, when they came for the funeral, at the time, I don't think that Jiffy Mart had ever closed down for any reason, even weather.
Right.
But for his funeral, they shut down, and there it was a packed house, standing room only, and for a person who did not grow up here.
Right. But belonged here.
Yeah.
And was loved here.
Yes.
And that's not the end of your story, though.
No,
your family
no.
has gone on to, I mean, just beautiful days and a beautiful family.
Yeah. We are in the midst of all of that and the tragedy that happened and our loss. You know, God has seen us through, and 100%. If you would have asked me the day that I lost him if I would be where I'm at now and my life would look like this, no way. I could not, and it's only because of God that I'm where I'm at, that my kids are where they're at, and so I'm forever grateful. I'm thankful.
There was a point here where you were able to move forward, and you met your new husband.
Yes.
And you guys made a decision and actually went back to California at some point in your story.
So actually, when I lost Mark, it was a few months later that I moved back to California to be with my family. My family was like, we can help you out here. It's so hard for us to be, away, and it made sense. Mm-hmm. Mark's family's there. I mean, everybody was in California. It was my sister-in-law that was here. Mm-hmm. And so, and while it was really, really tough decision to leave her, it was one that I made because I just felt like I needed to be with everybody there. Yeah. And lo and behold, there was a reason behind it. I believe that reason was because I needed to meet my husband Shane. Yeah. And so he was my son's t-ball coach. And that's how we ended up meeting. He was a friend of my dad's too. And yeah, we hit it off. He was definitely, we were both not really looking for what.
It's funny how that happens.
Yeah, really. And it was just a whirlwind thing. And we ended up together getting married. We have a daughter, and then we got married and had our daughter right in the midst of COVID. And when all the craziness was happening.
That was wild, right?
Yeah. And for us in California, I know it was different here. I know that there were shutdowns and different things here, but for California, for us, there was no, you did nothing. Mm-hmm. And everything was shut down. And Shane and I were non-essential workers. And so with that, we were home with all these kids. And
do you guys remember being home with all your kids? we will never forget.
We lived to tell the tale later, right? I mean, we survived. So we had our daughter, and I'm like, man, I really want to go visit T. I wanted to come out and visit my sister-in-law and see her. And Shane was like, oh yeah, because they've met my husband's family, my husband that passed away. They just love my husband Shane.
Oh, that's awesome. That's special.
It's so awesome. I'm very fortunate. And so we were all excited. We're going to come out here and visit. So we came out in July, and mind you, everything's still shut down there. Yeah. But it wasn't here.
Yeah, that was inviting.
We were living life here in Oklahoma. We were driving. It was the further we got from California, it was like, oh, you can go into grocery stores and stuff still.
Yeah. Right.
So we get here. My husband is just so excited, and we spend our time visiting with all of my friends and family and stuff. And we were one day he's always talked about leaving California. He does not like California. He's been wanting to leave. So I had asked him the question, because Oklahoma has always been in my heart. It always has, but I never wanted to push that on him. And so I just asked him to let me know if Oklahoma is on the table or not. or if it's not, I need to close that door.
Yeah.
For myself, for my own heart. And he said, no, I like it here.
Hey.
I like Oklahoma. I was like, oh, really? Okay. And, you know, I had run into one of my my old coworkers and stuff, and they were like, man, if you ever want a job, you should hit us up. And I'm like, oh, yeah. We were driving home. We were getting ready to go back to California, and I think we were in Arizona at the time, and get a message from the school district that they're not resuming school again. And our kids were just, I can teach Sunday school, but I'm not an everyday teacher. It's hard. And I think with all the different ages, it was just like, I'm not, this is not where I'm meant to be.
Right.
And just, they just were losing out on different things. And
I think that was such a hard thing.
Yeah.
That, like,
no sports.
Yeah.
No, we couldn't even social distancing. When they say social distancing, we got, like, you get in trouble for going to the park there. So it was just a little different for us. And so on our way home, he just looked at me. He goes, do you think that they were serious about your job there? And I said, I don't know. Let me go ahead and see. And so I emailed, and that next week I had an interview.
Wow.
And by August, that was in July. And by August, we were pulling into Oklahoma with our Penske truck. There was no turning back.
Welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back.
Well, and I have to laugh a little bit and think about that was the hottest time of the year to be here, because I moved here in August of 2007, and it was just sweltering.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, so poor Shane, like, you'd already endured it. And so
I know what it's like.
Yeah. And
he does not.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And let me tell you, my sister and I tell him you'll get acclimated. And every year he tells me, it's weird. I'm still not acclimated to this heat. And I'm like, ooh, I'm sorry.
Pushing 18 years. I think this fall is my 18th year. And I think I'm just finally accepting it. I don't know. I'm finally okay. I'm finally okay with our storm seasons.
Yeah.
We just got a shelter 18 years later. Like, I don't know. I don't know. But golly. I think it's so great that your family navigated back out here. And what does Shane do?
So Shane currently he's studying. He is studying he wants to be a teacher here for the high school. And so he's finishing up his degree right now. He'll be wrapped up at the end of the spring semester.
That's right.
He's in RSU. So he's doing that. He's kind of stay-at-home dad in it right now. Summertime, all them kids are at home.
Bless him.
Yeah,
hang tough, buddy. Hang
He does
tough.
that and go to school.
Hang in there. Listen, he's taking 19 units right now.
Oh my
Man.
goodness.
So he really thought when he started that he had a lot more credits than he did, I think, and he has condensed like a 4-year degree into a 2.5-year.
He's a
deal.
warrior.
He is rocking it, but there's days that he's like, just tell me to quit.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
We all have those moments.
Mr. Hagabush, he's earned it. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah,
right?
I know,
He's
right?
not a quitter.
He isn't. He is really excited though. We are the love that we have for the community. It really is. It's a passion for him. I cannot wait for him to be able to get more involved and be there for the students. And we really enjoy what we do in our capacity at church, but he just always has felt like there's more. He wants to do coaching and all of those things. He is a avid baseball lover. He's working on it with me.
That's awesome. Baseball will grab you. Like our oldest just played on the 8U team, and I never played softball. I love sports, but bam, my husband and I were coaching with our friend. We were the head coaches. I'm like, I don't know how that happened, but now I love baseball too.
Oh, good for you.
So it's coming, sis.
I'm getting there. We try to go to games, and we took the boys to their first major league game this year. So, well, actually all the kids except for Dryden. We took them all to Kansas City to watch. We're Red Sox fans. So we went to go. I know.
I'm just kidding.
I know. Don't. Hey, I hope that doesn't change anybody's opinion about me.
No, that's so great. I love that. How fun.
Yeah.
We haven't gone up there, but we love to take the kids to the drillers.
Great.
And there's so many things like that to go do around here with your family.
For sure.
I don't know. I just feel like our small time community here comes with just big banging opportunities to do amazing things with your family.
Yeah.
Workforce things, go to school,
Definitely.
be with your kid. Like, not everywhere
There
could he
is
be going
no
to school while you're
shortage.
working and be with the kids.
We couldn't
You
have done
can't do it out there.
We could not.
And that's something that I kind of state all the time is opportunity, all the opportunity that's here.
Yeah.
My niece just moved here. She went from California to Oregon and she just moved here. And, her brother, my wonderful nephew, he's out there doing diesel mechanic stuff, some electric vehicle schooling. And I'm just like,
Don't you just want to bring everybody?
I just want to bring everybody. I'm like, come experience, create your own business here. You can come here and work for yourself. You don't have to work for someone else if that's your goal.
Yeah.
Like there is still so much opportunity here that I feel like is harder to accomplish out there.
Definitely. And just, for us, the cost of living too. And, but really, I didn't even see myself ending up back in Chelsea. To be honest, when we moved here, we were looking for our forever home. I didn't see myself coming to Chelsea. Not that I didn't. It wasn't anything to do with Chelsea. It was, I think, part of my grief journey.
Yeah.
And then not wanting to. I didn't voice this to Shane, but I just did not want to expect him to move here and hop into the life that I had before, and he was supposed to just pick up where we left off
and love it and just
and but let me tell you, God, we'll go right back to the Lord, because we were in a time, just every single offer we were making on houses, it did not matter. People were swooping in and getting the house, and the house that we bought came up on the market, and we came out here and looked at it and said, my realtor was like, it's in Chelsea, but it checks all the boxes, everything you guys are wanting and more. It's wonderful. You have to see it. And instantly my mind was like, nope, I'm not. And so we went there.
That was a painful chapter it was a beautiful, but also heartbreak.
It was, chapter. And there was just a lot. I'm like, how would my kids be being here and all the things, but Chelsea was why I loved Oklahoma.
Yeah.
So and I don't know. We ended up looking at it. I said no. I was like, nope. Shane loved it. Shane loved this house. He was like, there's a batting cage. There's a batting cage, Cynthia. It's on a hill. I don't even think they have hills in Oklahoma. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. No, I'm not. And so we're still looking. Somebody ended up putting an offer in on it, and so it was off the market. And we're looking, and it's still another month goes by, and my realtor was like, Cynthia, that house came up again, and the one in Chelsea, and she goes, I just want you to see it during the day, because we went at night to look at it. It was in the evening when we went to look at it. She's like, I just want you to see it during the day. Just give it a chance. It's really everything, and
listen to your realtor.
Bless our realtors, because they know, when they know. And she knew. And when we drove up to that house in the springtime, and I was like, this is the same house.
Oh, that's awesome.
And Shane was like, yeah. And I'm like, it has a small kitchen. And he goes, well, we can add on if you want a bigger kitchen. And he goes, in 5 or 10 years. And so, and anyway,
as the realtor, I'm like, oh yeah, I've seen this.
Yeah.
She doesn't really she doesn't want to live here. She doesn't want to move. She doesn't want to leave her other house, all these things. And there's a flaw when it's really so perfect.
No. And it really did check every single box and more. And we got there, and it was just a total different experience for me. And I want to say that my husband probably prayed about it before we went up there and was like, just have my back, Lord. Can you just, just convince her. And so we got there, and I was like, okay.
Oh, that's awesome.
I was like, new kitchen. Okay.
That's awesome.
I still don't have my new kitchen.
but you
But it's
still
okay.
love it,
But
and it's good.
I absolutely love our home. I love our home. I there's no place like really that I'd rather be. And we joke about it. I'm like, I'm never leaving here. So bury me in the back. I'm not
That's
going.
awesome.
So we ended up back here in Chelsea. And I think that it really was, the Lord just pulling me back where I belong.
Yes.
You're back where you belong. So,
Well, I just think that there's so much power in your story. And I love that you chose our community. You chose to be here. You weren't, born and raised here. You chose this community not once, but twice.
yeah.
God put you here 2 times.
Yeah.
And, the second time you were fighting it.
Yeah.
You can't fight this. You can't fight this.
No, he was closing every single door. It was like there are no other choices.
This is where you're going to go.
Yeah, yeah.
But I just find so much inspiration in that level of faith and just truly believing that it was God's hand on your story and that this is where you're supposed to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I 100% believe that you are the person for me to pass this baton to, because I am like you. I'm an implant here. I have chosen this community. I have chosen to love it, and it's chose to love me back, just like it has chose to love your family.
Yes.
And so, what a blessing to have the people we have and have people like you here.
Absolutely.
That are just helping us grow in the best way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's exciting. I mean, I've learned a lot. I've heard a little bit of her story, but I've learned a lot even in listening to this, and it's inspiring. There's a lot of ups and downs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And so I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So tell me, because I know you love the Lord, and I know you. He has moved through you and your family mightily, and you can't always see that in the moment.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes it's hindsight is 20/20, and you're like, oh, okay, now I get it.
Yeah.
But kind of tell me a little bit about your spiritual growth throughout all of this process from the beginning to the end, and where you are
Justin.
now. I know.
Oh, Justin.
I know.
So for me, I can say definitely, like, if you have to look at like my story and say like where my faith was strong. I told you I really thought my husband was coming back home, and it just did not happen. He went home, but not my home, and I struggled after that. I moved back to California. I didn't make all the right choices. And I kind of describe it, and people that know me have heard me say this as, when your dad all of us, our dads probably in some way or form have let us down in a way. And sometimes it's just hard. You don't even want to talk to them at that point. Like, right. I was upset. I was upset with the Lord. I was hurt, and it didn't mean I did not love him, and I knew that he loved me, but I was just not ready. And so in my not readiness, I was just not doing what I was supposed to or called to do, honestly. And it wasn't until I met Shane that I kind of had to get back to that, because this is really my husband's story, but he was not really a strong believer, and in fact he kind of had his own journey that he was on, and that was really hard for me because I did believe, even though I was like, listen, Lord, you and me, we got to have a talk at some point. But
I'm mad at you.
Yeah, I'm mad.
We're gonna be fine, but I'm upset.
I love you.
Yes.
Yeah, but he actually, with his like unbelief, I was like almost like indignant about my belief. I'm like, well, hey, and we had conversations, and I was firm on it. I know that you might not believe like I believe, but if we can agree that I'm the one that is going to be pouring into our kids spiritually, then maybe we can get through this. There were times that I was questioning, God, did you really bring this person in my life? Because how could I believe what I believe and this person be the person that you showed me is to be my husband? And fast forward to where we're at now, and absolutely I believe that God used my faith to show him what it is to have a relationship with God. So we started kind of going to church in California, and then when we came back here, I think that I had been growing my faith back with the Lord through those steps and trusting him again and being like, you're faithful. I don't need to be the one that understands why all of this happens. You're the one that's faithful in all of this.
That's one thing that I was going to ask you in this too is because we all go through times, like you said, where we feel like our dads have disappointed us, right? They didn't make the decision
that we wanted.
Exactly.
Ooh.
Yes, that we thought it was going to work out for everything. So tell me about that. How, and not to go too, far out into it, but like, what is it like to get back to a place of, okay, God, I want to work this out. I want to believe and trust that you still have my best interest at heart.
Wonderful. It's wonderful to get back to that.
Do you almost feel like, I mean, interrupt you. Do you almost feel like there's more peace when you come back?
So I can tell you, and this is testament to what my faith and the growth in my faith. You talked about our situation, our stories are very similar. I moved back to California. I moved back to Oklahoma, and a couple years later, my little brother came out to live here in Oklahoma with us, and he chose to come out here and try it out. And it wasn't long after he moved, it was a little bit over a month, that he lost his life in a car accident. And again, one of my biggest, he was like one of my biggest supporters. He had my back. When I moved back to California, I moved in and lived with him, me and my boys. And so losing him was almost it's just as painful. But my faith was so rooted in God at that time that I had a different sort of peace during that loss. I looked at it different, and
there had been growth.
There had been, and that's what when I talk about my spiritual growth, I can truly say I've seen it in power, and the peace of God was with me at that time, and I gave it to him. I said, you are in control of all things, and it's not for me to understand, but can you carry me through it? And I trusted him to get me and my family through this loss. And so that's where I know I've had growth, because before it was like, what do I do? What do I do? And it, instead of being like, God, you move. And
ooh, that's big.
Yeah. He has to, he's in control. And it too often, I'm a go-getter. I'm driven. I know you're one like that too. And a lot of times it's really hard for us go-getter women to turn the reins over and say, really, God, it's yours. And so that's really where he's been working on me.
For guys too, because we want to
you want to make it right.
We want to make things right. We want to find solutions. We want to fix things. We want to make it okay. And the hardest things is when there's no possible way that you can do that. And you can't do that in your strength, no matter what you do. And actually, most of the times, if you try to do that, you end up making things worse when you don't really intend to. But I love your story because it's full of stuff like that. And
truly.
And in that moment, here's the thing is, God is okay with your ugliness. He's not like, oh, well, I'm not going to talk to you anymore.
No.
That is not his character. That's not his nature. He will use the things of life to reveal things inside of you that need to be healed.
Yes.
And he will walk you through the healing process.
For sure.
No matter how inconvenient or painful it is, because he wants you to be a whole person.
Yes.
That's his goal.
Truly. So. I 100%. I couldn't agree with that more. He does want you whole, and he saw me through all of what I was going through. He watched me, and I know he was looking at me like, girl, if you would just, and I'm like, I know, right? But he never reminded me, if that makes sense. He never reminded me of the things that I was doing. He just welcomed me. with open arms. And that's the same thing that this community does. And that they are, when you do that, Chelsea, when you do that, you are doing the work of God.
Mm-hmm.
And so it is a wonderful thing. And just love is what he calls us to do. One of my favorite scriptures is Galatians 5:13, through love serve one another.
Yeah.
And I truly believe that sometimes he has to break you down.
Amen to that.
Sometimes he has to let you get totally broken and crushed, and then he'll build you back up. And then you know what it's like, because so many times I have been the one receiving a call of, what do I do? And I just had one. I just had one last week. My brother reached out to me. He said, "Hey, sis, I need your expertise." And when he says expertise, it's expertise in grief, and it's not something that people would be like, "Ooh, let me be that person." But God chose me to do that, and so I'm able to help people. A woman, just a girl. I say girl. She's young. She just lost her husband. She has 3 boys of her own, and so he reached out to me to help out and just kind of give her some support, give her some tips. One of my best friends passed away. His wife, same thing, last year. So it's something that I did not want to be an expert in, but God gave me that. That's the cross that I carry, and I will do it to the best of my ability. I will share my journey with people and be there to support them through it as well. And so I think that's where he has used me and my situation for his glory.
So much. And that's, for me, it's IVF.
Oh,
I mean, Chad and I went through that so hard and so heavy. And luckily we're so blessed with our 3 beautiful boys. But I have just found so much power in strengthening others by sharing our story. And God crushed us down to the ground repeatedly through that year.
You know what it's like to be in the worst of it. In the worst of it. And then when somebody calls you and says, what do I do?
How do I help and for me, it's those calls. How do I help my daughter? How do I help my son and his wife are going through this?
Oh, yeah.
And you're able to, share
It's the
God's
same thing,
light.
Justin with Tyler's story. Everybody has a story, and that's what this platform is so amazing in being used to share that story and to let people know that they're not alone, that there are people in this community that have gone through it, that are there to support you. And, the more that we can be there for one another and share what's happened to us and share what the outcome, because that's where it's at. Yes, the nitty gritty, but what's on the end of that? Yeah. What came out at the end? Because I told you earlier, if you were to ask me the day that my husband died, would I be where I'm at right now? I would have absolutely told you you're crazy. But God can do it.
Yes.
And then God will use that to help others to see his glory and what he can do with the situation.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Well, I think that it's pretty evident why we think that Cynthia is the absolute best person to take my seat. My only ask of her has been that she keeps Justin on his toes the way that I have thoroughly enjoyed. I make him very uncomfortable with random things, and it brings me pure joy. So without a doubt, you are going to be such an asset at this platform and sharing the stories of others and bringing them to life. And Justin and I have literally said the words that just came out of her mouth to one another about this platform.
Yep, several times.
I mean, that made me want to cry again, but I've already done that on air today, so I'm not going to do it again. I'm not going to do it. But
that's awesome.
I am just elated at the fact that you're going to be the one taking this over. You are so deeply rooted in our community. Again, you've chose to be that way. And let's just talk about the fact that you went back to a church, Justin, that you hadn't been to in a long time, and that's how you ran into Cynthia that day.
That's true. So this past weekend, the weekend before.
I think the
weekend before. We hadn't been to the assembly in a year.
Yeah.
It's been a year.
Yeah.
And so I just felt like I needed to go back to the assembly. And when I did, I didn't have any intentions of asking anybody about anything about a podcast or mentioning it at all. And a friend of mine came over and was asking me about it, and I was like, "Oh, it's going good," and I was like, "Well, actually, I might need to find a new co-host." And then I was like, "Do you know anybody?" And she was kind of like, about that time, Cynthia came up, and I turned around, and Julia was kind of like pointing at Cynthia. I was kind of like, I didn't think about that, but yeah.
See, it's
here we
just
are.
Here's the bigger picture orchestrated way
Yeah.
before we
and
ever
when
know.
Justin just said some of the things to me, I was like, you almost have to just stop me, because talking about this place and the people here, I could just go on and on
Well,
about
girl,
how
you're
wonderful it is. And so, and just like the vision that you guys had for this, and for it to be more than just a podcast, and be something that is going to grow the community and strengthen the community, and bring them back to the roots of what they were. And so it really, how do you say no to that?
Right? That's how I felt
I'm
the day
like,
that
sign
he
me
presented
up.
it.
Sign me up.
Well, we couldn't have asked for a better person to be led to this
Aw.
seat. So
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Wonderful.
Well, I'm very much looking forward to future podcasts.
Yes.
And excited to see what all comes out of it. And I know that, Kimber, that you're still by our side, still walking us
I'm always
through
going to be
this
right
and
here, and I'm going to be an avid supporter,
cheering
and
us
I
on.
will always be doing everything I can to cheer this on. And I am a full-blown believer in the beauty that is in this platform, and the stories that are being shared that we've already shared.
Yeah.
You are our 10th story
I don't
to get
remember
to share.
now, to be honest with you. I think
this is the 9th.
somewhere in there, yeah.
9th or
Somewhere.
10th.
Yeah.
And it's just going to grow.
Yeah.
It's just going to grow.
There's a lot of people
there's
in
so
Chelsea.
many stories to be
There's
shared.
a lot of people.
And this is community. This is your center stage. This is where you get to come share your story, shed your light, let people know that, someone else is not alone, because maybe you want to share a piece of your story.
It's all about you.
It's all about you.
It's all about
So I'm very sad to be here in just a moment saying that's a wrap for the last time for now, but it has been such a privilege and an honor to be a part of this and get to be just on this vessel as it got off the ground and going. And again, thanks for letting me have my time here.
Yeah, absolutely, Kimber. We appreciate it. Cynthia, thank you again.
Thank you, guys.
And remember, community, Center Stage Community Podcast is where we give the community the center stage.
That's a wrap.